Hi everyone and welcome to Creative Chelsey. Today I'm excited to share with you my last alternative project using the May 2023 paper pumpkin kit called Exploring in Color. This fun outdoor themed kit creates 9 cards. There are enough supplies to make 3 of each card. What I like to do is use the supplies in the kit with some other products and create different or alternative projects. If you would like to watch me unbox this kit and create these original cards or see any of my other alternative cards, you can click on the playlist in the top right corner. Today, I realized that I hadn't used my envelopes from the kit for hardly any of my projects. They come with these really beautiful landscapes near the bottom and then have a fun, colorful flap. So what I decided to do, since I didn't have a lot of supplies left over, is create a fun pouch. And this pouch you can add apple cider, hot chocolate, a fun treat to the pouch, and you could provide it at maybe a camp out or a fun outdoor theme event, or even just give it to a friend who might need some cheering up. So today we're going to make this fun pouch, and you can make this pouch actually in many different sizes. I also made it in a small size here, but did not include the tag since I only had one of these mountain ranges left. So I'm going to share with you how I created that tag using that same mountain range from, I think it was alternative, maybe number 3 is where I had that piece left over. But you can see here that you can change the sizes, and I will provide a template for this larger size on my blog, and you can jump over and check that out. I'll put the link in the description below. And it's easy to change it. You just need to change the width. Everything else stays the same, but just the width that you score, and you'll see that in the template. So we're going to make this one today. So to begin, you're going to have a piece that is 5.5 inches by 8.5 inches. And if you do decide to do the smaller one, then you will end up with one that's not quite as long. So you'll just change the measurement of the width here, but not the height. It's still going to be 5.5 inches. So the first thing we're going to do is score. We're going to score at 5 inches here and 1/2 inch on the side, and that's going to give us a bottom flap. Then we're going to score at another 1/2 inch on the right side, and this is going to give us our side flap. And then we're going to score at 4 inches. And that is going to be the width. So we're going to have a 4-inch pocket. So 4-inch, 4-inch, and then our flaps. Okay, so if you're going to make it skinnier, you would just make these 4 inches smaller. I hope that makes sense. So one of these is going to be the front. So I like to make the one that has the flap, the front side. And what you're going to do is you're going to cut down about 1 inch from the top. And I'm going to just use my paper trimmer since it's going to be nice and easy. And that's so it's measure it back up at 4 inches, and you're going to cut to about 1 inch from the top. And then over here on this side, you're going to measure. I like to cover up my trim line or my cut line just a little bit. I'll show you why. So I'm going to bring this down and I'm going to cut to 2 inches. So it goes from 1 inch to 2 inches, and I'm just placed my blade at the 2-inch mark, and I'm going to press down, and that's going to give me a little tiny cut. Do you see it right there? And then I can measure from this cut to that bottom of that cut, and that's going to be my angle. So here in my paper trimmer blade, I'm going to see, which I can't see very well, there we go, the bottom of that cut to the top of that cut. And then I'm just going to cut with my paper trimmer. Okay, so I'm going to cut that off, stopping at that score line. So that's going to be the angle that I have for here. Okay, it might not be exactly the same, but I'm pretty sure it's close. So we go down 1 inch, we go down 2 inches, and then we connect the two. And then I like to keep my flap here on this side, and I keep my flap here, but I don't want the flap here. So I'm going to remove from on that score line we'll do it. We'll just flip this over. That might be easiest. So we're going to measure that up. Here at the center line is where we're going to start, and we're just going to remove that. And then you can take a pair of paper snips and you'll just cut it at a slight angle. And then you'll do the same to these other flaps. And that just makes it nice and easy to remove those pieces. So you'll end up with something that looks like this, okay? And you're just going to fold the angled piece in front and then fold those flaps in. Okay, so now that we have that done, and I've just folded everything along the score line, we're going to put that off to the side, and we're going to get the envelope that we're going to use. And I'm going to use this mountain range, and I need to grab my paper trimmer. I'm just going to trim off just the slightest along the bottom and the edges. And we're just going to use this bottom. I'm not using the top, so you can go ahead and cut that off too if you want. So just do all 4 sides, just removing just a small amount. Now, depending on how wide your pouch is how wide you need to cut this. I like to have a little border, so I'm going to cut this at 3 3/4. So let's see. So I could do it on that side, or I could kind of focus on that side, which I like. I like this side a little more because there's a little more color. So I'm going to cut that to 3 3/4 inches. And that's what it's going to look like. And then we're going to trim off the top at the angle. So you're going to bring back your template. This is the easiest way to identify the angle that you want. And you're going to add it so that there is even border on the left and right. And then you kind of double up that border at the bottom. So double how much? So it'd be like 1/4 of an inch at the bottom, while the sides are about 1/8 of an inch. And then you're going to flip this over without moving anything. Take a pencil or marker, something light so that you're not going to make too strong of a mark. And you just follow along that cut line there. And then you'll just trim it. So this is on the back. I still like to cut right below that line so that that dark pencil or pen, whatever you're using, doesn't show through. So I'm just cutting off that trim. So you can see that there's no trim, there's no line at the top. And then that will fit nicely on top of your pouch. So let's go ahead and add everything together. So I'm going to go ahead and use just some liquid glue here. Place that down, fold up my bottom flap and add some liquid glue. You could also use tear and tape if you'd like. And then I'm just going to cover that with the back. And then you can use liquid glue, you could use glue dots, use your double-sided adhesive, whatever you have, and add that to the front. Okay. And then use a bone folder to smooth out if you're using liquid glue. So super simple, quick pouch. Couple things, I do like to just angle my corners. So I'm going to show you how I did that. You're going to want a little pen or pencil. Use your grid paper. I'm going to mark at 1/2 inch from each corner. Just like that. And then take your paper snips. And you want to cut so that we don't see the pen marks. So just right below that, you're going to cut off the corners. If you have a corner punch, you could also use that. That would be a fun thing to use instead if you have that. Okay. And then let's go ahead and make this cute tag to go with it. So I really don't have a lot of things left over. I've used most of the things from the kit, but I did have this mountain range here. So I'm going to cut a circle from that mountain range using my 2 3/8 circle punch. I'm going to take a hole punch and I'm just going to punch a hole near the top. I also have stamped one of the mugs in the copper clay, and I'm going to punch a hole near the bottom of the handle. And that's going to get added there. And then I have this strip, and I thought it would be fun to stamp cheers. Since it's a cup and we're also adding some apple cider, I thought that was cute. So we can get cheers from this cheers to another adventure stamp, but we need to make sure it's nice and clean because we're only going to be inking up the cheers text. So clean that up and then get out your copper clay ink and use just the corner to stamp or ink up cheers. So you can do this pretty easily with just that corner edge. And then you just stamp it near the bottom where that banner is, okay? Because you need the top. You don't want to stamp it near the top because the mug might cover it up as it moves around. So we're going to kind of lay this down, then kind of lay down the mug, get an idea of where you want to cut it. So maybe cut it right about here. And then you can punch a hole at the top for that. There we go. So you see how we just don't want it to cover up. I mean, if it swings all the way over, it might cover up a little bit, but just like that, it should be good. And you can always adhere it too if you wanted. So let's go ahead and put all these things together. I do have a little bit of linen thread from my own stash. So I did use up all the linen thread from my kit. I'm going to cut 12 inches of that, and then I'm going to string all these together. It's going to be a really cute tag that we can add to this fun pack. So first goes the tag, then the cheers, and then we've got the mug. And then you can bring your ends together, slide them all down, and tie a knot and then a bow. You don't want them to be too tight because you want them to be able to move freely, or adjust them if you need to, and then adhere them if it's like, if they are covering up too much of the words. And then I'm going to add this to my pack of apple cider or hot chocolate with a dimensional. You could do 1 or 2. And I'm going to just place it, for this one I might place it over on the right side since, well, I could probably, well, let's do it on the right side just for something a little different. Super cute. And then you can just pop in your cider or your hot chocolate or your little treat, and your cute little treat bag is all done. Well, I hope you enjoyed watching me create my last alternative project with the May 2023 Paper Pumpkin Kit. If you're interested in getting the free template, you can visit my blog, creativechelsey.com. Thanks so much for watching. Have a creative day. Bye.